Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to that 7 Days Rock fan. Today, going to be taking a look at episode 3 of Shogun, the spectacular FX adaptation of James Clavell's novel. Episode 3, Tomorrow is Tomorrow. Just a warning that there will be some spoilers ahead, some mild spoilers, trying not to do too much in-depth revelation of those, but we do want to talk a little bit about some of the key events of this excellent episode. And like episodes 1 and 2, this is continuing to maintain that standard that was set in those episodes of sticking to the storyline of the novel, the principal storyline, and presenting that in a very great visual way with fantastic attention to detail, some fantastic acting, exciting, atmospheric. Another excellent episode. I believe the show is doing extremely well for FX in the ratings, and so it should. For once, we're getting something that's so far is a worthy adaptation. It lives up to the name and the ethos of the original novel. So episode 3, which covers, roughly speaking, chapters 18 to 29 of the novel, so up to the end of what is termed book 2 of the novel. Of those events are principally what were covered in this episode. So, and tomorrow is a phrase that is uttered by Toranaga himself towards the end of the episode, whilst he is being taught how to dive by Blackthorne on their galley, on Toranaga's galley. Blackthorne amusingly having to dive off the ship countless times to demonstrate to Toranaga how to dive, resulting in much tiredness and soreness. But it's an excellent sequence, which is very well portrayed from the novel. Toranaga showing his inquisitiveness again, like we saw in episodes 1 and 2, of his desire to learn about new things and to learn other skills and to learn about the world at large, which makes him such an interesting character and a great leader. He's an extremely inquisitive guy, very open-minded in that respect. So the episode starts with the fallout of the failed assassination attempt on Blackthorne. Toranaga maneuvering, realizing that he's got to get out of this trap that is Ishido's control of Osaka Castle. He's maneuvering against Ishido and the other regents' attempts to basically, impeach and then kill him. So also exploring the relationship with one of his principal vassals, excellently portrayed by Tadanobu Asano, is Kasigi Yabu, Kasibu Yabushigi, but Yabu for short in the novel very often. And he's a very interesting character because he is, yes, he's Toranaga's vassal, although he himself is a fairly senior warlord and has a very large fiefdom of his own and has his own ambitions. And Ishido, and has been dealing with Ishido, Toranaga always appears to give the impression he knows what's going on there with that, which unsettles Yabu because he's expecting Toranaga to react negatively, but that doesn't always happen. Toranaga is very good at using the people around and under him to achieve his aims, sometimes in unexpected ways, by not reacting in the, let's say, a negative way to things that he knows are he might not approve of. It, without giving too much away, but this relationship between them, this cat and mouse game they're often playing verbally, with Yabu trying to appear the loyal vassal, indeed acting like the loyal vassal many times, but also keeping one eye open to the potential Toranaga-free future with his dealings with the Shido. So this episode deals with a lot of that, and it's extremely well portrayed. This Asano is doing a fantastic job, very interesting character, and a very well portrayed. We see a little bit of exciting fighting action in this. There are further attempts to eliminate Blackthorne by the Christian daimyo and by the Jesuit authorities. I mean, it wouldn't be giving too much away to say those attempts are unsuccessful, given that he is partly the main character. But we see Toranaga doing a little bit of action in Mariko too. So there's some exciting fight scenes. We do get to see a little more of Buntaro, Mariko's husband, who is a particularly strong and skilled fighter, albeit not necessarily the most endearing husband. But he has a fantastic scene of basically sacrificing himself, maybe, to help the escape from Osaka of certain characters. And this is interesting because we are seeing the deepening relationship between Blackthorne and Mariko. Not yet at this point anything untoward, but they are very interested in each other's worlds. Spend a lot of time discussing and exploring those differences, and basically Blackthorne's like a sponge, learning from her about Japan and about their customs and indeed the language. So he's soaking up a lot of that. She's also trying to understand this very different world he comes from. But as I say, there's some thrilling fight scenes. You see Blackthorne again in his element on the water in Osaka Harbor. And there's some Toranaga, despite you would think an enmity between him and the Jesuits and the Portuguese captain of the Black Ship, which is sailing with all those wealth on board. There's a lot of negotiation back and forward between them in this episode. Again, Toranaga trying to achieve certain ends. But it's great to see Blackthorne in scenes that were pretty much taken from the novel, in his element on the water, and also renewing his verbal jousting with Rodriguez, the Portuguese pilot. And both in their element at sea, of course. This particularly amusing sequence when they're both on Blackthorne's on Toranaga's galley, Rodriguez is piloting the Black Ship, and this scene might be one of the funniest scenes in the show. Say no more. Just the pose itself is quite interesting. And yeah, some thrills there and some exciting action. So again, a very worthwhile episode, very enjoyable. The show is, again, I would recommend. So far, yes, the novel has not been word for word adapted, given that there's so much in it. Certain elements have been changed or compressed. However, I think that's only fair given the source material and its complexity. And I think the main point so far is the main narrative has not been changed, the main story arc. So the actors are all doing a fantastic job. Everything's been great about it so far. Can't wait for episode 4. So episode 3 tomorrow is tomorrow. Check it out on FX. Plaudits to them so far for doing a fantastic job with this show. Check it out. So thank you for watching and listening. Do those wonderful YouTube-y things we ask to do. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and comment. Let me know what you think about the show and all that great stuff. And so with that, till next time, stay well and keep on rocking.